Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table. Let's talk about everything from the latest fitness and wellness trends, recipes that are actually worth cooking, and the craziness that's happening on our side of the internet. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. Ooh, it's Friday. It's Friday morning at 9:56. Today is April the 3rd, and I thought I was going to miss you this week. Not going to lie to you. I didn't think it was going to happen, but look at us on a Good Friday, a real Good Friday. We have so many things to talk about. But before we start anything, if you have not already, please join us over on Instagram. You know, I've been getting some very interesting emails lately, and I feel like you might want to be in tune to what's going on our Instagram pages so that you don't miss any of the exciting things that we may or may not have going on over there. And I only say may or may not because I don't know what I'm going to say yes and no to. But I'm mulling some things over and I will be making some decisions soon. And I would hate for anyone to miss out on any of it. Recently, I posted a beef jerky video over on the TFV Fitness page. And as you know, over on the Tia's Table podcast page, that is pretty much what we talk about here on the podcast. A lot of it is silly. A lot of it is food. A lot of it is what I wore, which we will not call fashion. We will just call it putting on outfits because I'm a realist and I would not consider myself to be the most fashionable person. But you know, when I do decide to get dressed, I clean up real well and I think I look real cute. So if you want to see some everyday outfits, girl, it's over there on the podcast page. So go on over there on Instagram and follow your girl so we can keep things just between you and I when we are not on the phone. Okay? Now, for food, what has been on my table? Let me tell you, I made that shrimp linguine arrabbiata sauce spaghetti squash meal, and I know that was a whole lot of things, but when I mean to tell you it was good, it was good. Now, I didn't make the linguine, I didn't make the pasta. I made Barefoot Contessa's arrabbiata sauce. I made her spaghetti squash, and I made her the shrimp that go with the shrimp linguine. I made that, put them all together, and it was like heaven. It was so good. The sauce was perfectly spicy. You could taste everything that went into that sauce. You could taste it. It was so flavorful. It was so robust. It was literal heaven on your plate if you really like a savory, spicy meal. Oh my gosh, it was good. The shrimp were perfect. The spaghetti squash by itself was so flavorful, so yummy. The only thing that I would have done differently with that recipe is I would have made less squash. Because, yeah, I didn't know, but now I know one squash is enough. You will never need two. You will never need two. One is enough. And I also know the next time that I make that particular dish to freeze some of the sauce, which the sauce was gone by the time I got finished eating it because I ate it for like a couple days. And by the time I was ready to toss what was left, I honestly didn't have any sauce left, but I missed the sauce. The sauce was really good on eggs, like in an omelet the next day. I remixed that sauce so many ways, turned that sauce every which way. Turned it every which way. It was that good. That sauce would actually be good to dip mozzarella sticks in or to dip some other type of Texas toast in. Well, obviously, because those two things go together. But yeah, it would be really good on so many different things. I loved it. If you have her cookbook, and I have two of them, and right now I'm trying to remember if that one was in the Modern Comfort Food cookbook or if it was in the one about Jeffrey, her husband. I can't remember. But if you have either one of those cookbooks, look for that shrimp pasta recipe, look for the arrabbiata sauce recipe, and girl, just make it. 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 It is so good. If you're going to have like a cute little date night at home, or if you just want something that feels extremely elevated for dinner one night, girl, make it. Make it. You will not regret having made that sauce. That meal in general, it was delicious. I also made some beef jerky the other day, and it was my first time making jerky with beef. Up until this point, I had only ever made it with ground chicken, and I really liked it. The beef jerky tastes exactly like a Slim Jim. The only thing that not that I didn't like it, but the only thing that I would say was kind of like, duly noted, was that, of course, the beef jerky takes much longer to dehydrate than the ground chicken does. So it's not necessarily something that I can make in the same way I would do the ground chicken. So, for example, I might start that ground chicken after I pick my kids up from school, and by the time I'm ready to go to bed, that ground chicken has fully dehydrated, right? And I think that's because the ground chicken is 99% fat free. So it's not a lot of fat in it to begin with. For the beef jerky, I use 90% lean ground beef because that was the leanest that I could find the day that I was grocery shopping for it. And it took like 8.5 to 9 hours to fully dehydrate that jerky. So the next time I make the beef jerky, which there will be a next time because it was really like that good, that's something that I will have to start in the morning. Like I will need to get those jerky sticks into the dehydrator, quite possibly while I'm getting kids ready for school. And then you just let that thing cook all day. You just let it dry up all day long. And by the time they come home from school, there is fresh beef jerky. I love it. Now, I have been testing out different things and making different things because, like I keep saying, at the end of this year, when it's time to do the holiday season, oh, baby, I'm gifting everyone things that I have made, right? Except for the children. The children I will continue to buy stuff for. But the adults that I do gift swapping with, baby, we are swapping things like this. Things that are made from home, made with love. And I have a few people already on my list that I know for a fact would appreciate and be very happy about getting jerky for Christmas because they love the chicken jerky like everybody loved the chicken jerky. And people haven't had a chance to try the beef jerky yet, but I just know that because they love the chicken, they are going to like absolutely die over the beef. And so I'm really excited about that. So I have made that. I saw Ina, who is the Barefoot Contessa. I've been watching her show. I'm at that point in her show now where it's kind of towards the end where she was having sit-down interviews with people. And so I think I'm about to tap out because they're having sit-down interviews. Every now and again, they'll go to her counter and like cook something or make a cocktail. But I'm like, ooh, I'm really not here for the interviews of it all. I just really want to watch you cook. But on one of the most recent episodes, she made some beef short ribs. And they look so good that I immediately went to her website to find out which cookbook that recipe was in because I did not remember seeing it in either one of mine. And sure enough, it was in another one. I think it's in her Cook Like a Pro cookbook. So if you have that one, that short rib recipe is in that cookbook. But Ina is nice enough to post certain recipes to her website. So you can actually go to her website and download certain recipes. The short rib recipe was one of them. So I downloaded it. I put it on Instagram and told people to take a screenshot if they were interested in something that I was going to be making soon. Cannot wait to make that. And I was thinking about making it for Easter dinner. But on the one hand, I'm like, I don't know if I want to make it on Sunday or not. 2, short ribs are expensive. Like for a family of 5, that will be an expensive dinner. So I want to make it on a day where I know for a fact it will go over well because because one thing about me and these grocery prices is they continue to go up. On a day where I say like, oh, I'm going to make so and so. And so then I spend the money and then I spend the day and the time and all the things whipping that meal up. And then when I feed it to the people that live in this house, people either are like, oh, I'm not really in the mood for so and so, or can I have a pizza, or can I? And they don't. That makes me turn into something bad and ugly real quick. Like when I mean to tell you, I turn into somebody else immediately. I'm like, actually, no, you can sit down and eat this food. Do you even know how much short ribs cost? A lot. How much do they cost? A lot. So you're going to sit down and eat them, and you're going to do it with a joyful heart. And you're going to have a cheerful spirit about it. So I want to make it on a day where I know everybody will be happy to sit down and eat, because these kids, they don't, they're not like we were. When we were growing up, how soul food was just such a thing, and you ate it all the time. You ate it on the weekends. You ate it every Sunday. You went to your grandma's house. You had soul food, all the holidays, like it. And these children just aren't like that. Literally last week, I was making something for dinner. I can't even remember what it was. And my daughter was like, do you think one day next week you can make crab legs for dinner? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. Actually, let me write that down and get right on that for you, Miss Ma'am. I would love to make you a low country boil one day next week for dinner. How come y'all don't ask for other things? Like, y'all don't ever ask for anything simple. I've never had a child ask me to make them a hot dog. Never. Not once. Not at all. It's never happened. But crab legs, yeah. We haven't had that in a while. Can you make that? We haven't had it in a while, because that's not something you eat every week, girl, or all the time, ma'am. But sure, let me see if I can figure out a day that would be good for that. So I say all that to say, I want to make the short ribs. I just want it to be timed good so that it goes over well. And then also, I already have ribs in the freezer. But when I bought those ribs, I bought them with the intention on trying to remake some ribs that I had at Disney last year. If you've ever been to Disney, I think it's in Disney Springs, Chef Morimoto, who used to be on Food Network, he has a restaurant there. The food is so good. And a friend actually told me about these ribs when I told her, like, yeah, I'm going to shop around this field trip at Disney, blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh, if you get a chance to go to this restaurant, go there. The ribs are amazing. I said, okay, girl, say less. As soon as I find out what the itinerary is, if I end up over there, I will go and I will get the ribs. The itinerary was in place. I went, I ate the ribs. I have not forgotten about them. Bought some ribs at Costco last week. And when I saw them, I said, ooh, I can make those ribs from that restaurant. Went online, did a little Googling, found a recipe for the sauce that the ribs are in. And I said, oh, baby, I'm ready. The only thing that I don't like about that recipe is that the ribs are fried. Like, you cook them first in the oven, then you dredge them in, I want to say it's cornstarch or something. And then you give them like a quick little fry, like a quick little bath, a quick little dip. You baptize them in grease real quick. Then you take them out and you toss them in this sauce. And in my mind, I'm like, if I skip the frying, I mean, they'll still be really good. Like, they'll be good. They just won't have like a crunchy outside. Like, that crispiness of them will be missing. So I don't know. And so, see, that too is something that I got to be in the mood to do. Got to be in the mood to do it, because there are so many steps, and I want to be in the mood when I cook those, because I want it to turn out good. And my family loves ribs. Maybe not short ribs, but ribs. Oh yeah, they can do those all day. And I already have those in the freezer. So I'm debating on whether or not I want to do that. I know traditionally you have a ham at Easter, but if I buy us a ham, we'll eat ham on Sunday, and then I'll have so much ham left over. And again, these children won't eat a ham sandwich, then I'll just have ham left that my husband will keep refrying on the top of the stove and serving us for breakfast for days and days until that ham is gone. So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do for Easter dinner, but I'm really leaning towards something that is of the rib variety. So we'll see what actually happens on Sunday. What else is on my table? I think that was it. Yeah, that's it. I did make the cutest salad bar last night for us for dinner. It was really good. And I had a friend message me and she was like, at first I thought that was a lot of lettuce, but then I thought to myself that this must be what it's like to feed a family of 5. And I'm like, yeah, girl, yes. And they eat a lot, like, because I have 2 boys and a husband. Me and my daughter have to fight for scraps in here. Like if we don't make our plates first, or if we don't get it while it's getting, girl, you will get gotten. You have got to get in where you fit in when you live in a house with a preteen boy, a almost teenage boy, my middle child, my oldest son, he'll be 13 this summer. And, and my husband who still eats like he is going through a growth spurt. I don't get it. But also because of that, and even though you buy the food with the intention on feeding your family, when I'm watching them eat and I'm watching them make plates, sometimes I'm literally like, oh my God, I'm just watching money. Like I'm just watching the money pile up on their plates because I'm thinking, dang, I thought if I bought this and I made it, we would have leftovers. And then the next day, it's like, boom, you get a twofer with this particular meal and the money I spent on this meal. But no, sometimes I make meals and they eat me out of house and home. Sometimes I make meals and they're like, ooh, I was really expecting crab legs. And I'm like, from who and where? What are you talking about? So I don't know. The grocery thing is really starting to get out of control, which is why we can segue into something else I wanted to talk about today. Are you doing a summer garden? I know a lot of the people that listen to the podcast, they grow things over the summer. They put things in pots. They put things in raised beds. Some people have like full on gardens. And then there's me who struggles every summer just to make her pots produce, just to make my pots produce. Now, what happens to me is I'll plant things. I'll go get my little starter plants because she's not an advanced gardener yet where she's like buying those seeds, making the little baby plants. Then you take them outside and you replant them. No, I still go to Home Depot or Costco and I buy starter plants. I plant them and then I wait for things to grow. And if you mess around at Costco, you might buy a plant that's already got some tomatoes on it. So you know that one's a good one. So yeah, I come home, I repot everything, things will grow, and I'll get a cute little harvest, and then it'll be nothing. Then it's nothing. And I talked to a friend about this, and she was just like, oh, you just got to water it more. Like you're just not watering your stuff enough. And I'm like, really? Because I was watering that stuff once a day. But maybe where my pots are was getting too much sun. And maybe I do need to be out there watering it maybe in the morning and in the evening. I don't know. So I'm on the fence about whether or not I want to do a garden this year. I'm on the fence. Now, they did have this really cute garden table at Costco that I thought about getting because I'm like, okay, well, if I get this table, I can plant whatever things I want to plant. That would make it really easy to water everything because they would all be right here together. So I have considered doing that. But then there's also a part of me that's just like, or maybe just get you one tomato plant and one pepper plant and just see how those 2 things do this year. Like instead of me, because last year I did tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. I had a whole bunch of different herbs. I did lettuce. What else did I have last year? I don't know. But girl, like I had a real potted garden last year. And some of it produced, like some of it did really well. But the things that didn't do well just they didn't do enough. They didn't do nothing for me. And so this year, I think I'm just either overthinking it or maybe I'm being very cautious and realistic and thinking to myself, girl, since you really don't know what you're doing, why don't you just start small? Start over, start from the basics. That might be my theme for 2026, as quiet as it's kept. Getting back to the basics, because I've been on my barefoot Contessa. Even with my workouts, I went back to the basics. It really might be, girl, just start over. It might be a start over kind of year. Take yourself all the way back. So I feel like I should just go get one tomato plant because I know I can grow those, one pepper plant because I know I can grow those, and then just troubleshoot and problem solve. Like figure out what I was doing or was not doing, where the pots actually need to be to get the best sun, all of the things. And then in 2027, take what I have learned now and expand. Also, I did tell my husband about my being on the fence about planting stuff this year. And he was like, oh, he was listening to a podcast or listening to an audiobook. Girl, I don't know. He's always listening to something. But he was listening to something, and whoever he was listening to was talking about like something about men not even knowing how to grow their own food or something like that. And I don't know if that stepped on his toes or not, because then when he came home, he was like, you know what? We don't even know how to grow our own food. And I was like, hey, sir, I have tried to grow my own food. But if you would like it to be a tag team event with making a garden this year, maybe we would have more success if we joined forces and did it together. And so then he was talking about maybe doing like a raised bed, like over on the side of the house, which I think would be perfect because over there does get sun. There is a water hose over there, so that would make it easy to water it. I think we're just concerned about the wildlife in the wood line back there coming and eating our things. But I have also learned a few tips and tricks from folks online about how to keep that from happening. And also, I think that's just part of it, right? That's the circle of life. You can't really keep the animals from eating plants because they probably need them and they're hungry. So I don't know. Are you doing a garden this year? If you are, what are you growing? Can you help me do mine? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Point me in the right direction so that I too can learn how to have a green thumb. I would very much so enjoy being able to grow my own food, girl, because I cook too much. I cook a lot. I'm always in somebody's grocery store. Despite my desire to be in there, sometimes I want to be at the grocery store. Sometimes I really don't want to be there, especially like if I'm reading a recipe and I basically have everything, but they'll be like, oh, and now you need like fresh cilantro, or you need 2 handfuls of chopped basil or whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the grocery store for that, which is why I have my little herb garden in my kitchen window. Because now when they're like, oh, you need chopped basil, I'm like, say less. I get me some basil out of that window and I keep it moving. But of course, that's not the case for everything. I would really love to be able to grow my own tomatoes. I would really love growing onions, like things that we eat a lot of. I would like to successfully grow those. And I saw somebody online growing potatoes in a bag, and I was very intrigued. So yes, if you know a thing or two about gardening and how to help me start from the basic bottom, please reach out to me, because I am here to learn, and I will appreciate any time and or advice you are willing to give in my efforts to become more and more like the women I admire who grow their own food. And I think that officially ends the food thing. Okay, so let's chat about a few things. Let's do a workout update, because anytime I recommend something or I tell people like, oh, you should check this out, or if you're looking for something, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And it's great. I always like to come back and give updates as I learn more and do more, just in case you decide to give a company your money. You know exactly what you're in for. So I'm still doing the ladder workouts. I'm still doing them, and they're still kicking my butt. But let me tell you, that program, it feels less and less like Pilates every week. And let me tell you why, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because the workouts have been working for me, but it is less and less. It is less and less Pilates every week. But you know what it is? It is traditional strength and conditioning. That is exactly what it is, with ab exercises mixed in each and every day. So of course they do a warm up, and of course they do a cool down. Then they'll have like 2 sections of the workout that is your actual workout, built with maybe it's about 3 exercises in each section, and you run through each exercise 2 or 3 times, right? So you end up doing a lot of reps. So you think about that. That's probably about a total of 6 different exercises that you're doing 2 to 3 times for 30 seconds, right? Okay. Once you've done that, then there's always going to be like a core or ab section of the workout. And I think that is what they are calling Pilates. And every now and again, you might do the Pilates 100. Every now and again, you might do something that resembles Pilates, but it is not. It's not. Some days you might do a bird dog, right? But you don't do that every day. So I just wanted to clarify or come back and say, if you're looking for really good strength and conditioning workouts, exercises that have compound movements, but that you get to move through slowly, which I think that is what they borrow from Pilates, because of course, when you do Pilates, the slower you do the exercise, the better workout you get, right? So maybe that is what they're borrowing from that. I really don't know. But if you like compound movements that are familiar to you, and by that I mean you might do a bicep curl while you're doing a step back lunge, right? Today we did step ups because today was glute focus. So we did step ups today. You will do planks. You will do quite a few planks. If you don't mind working your upper body and doing like shoulder work, bent over rows, you do a lot of Romanian deadlifts, things like that, things that you've seen before, you're familiar with them, but you just want them packaged perfectly for you. This app is good for you. If you are looking for a Pilates workout, a strictly Pilates workout, this is not the app for you. It's not. So I just wanted to clarify that, just in case people see me like, oh, she's really enjoying that app. She posts her workout every day. Girl, it's not Pilates. Like, it's every now and again they sprinkle some in, but for the most part, you are like working out like regular, like with your dumbbells. So there's that. And summer is coming. Like, we have reached that point where, like I always say, whatever is happening at Easter, like that's probably what we're going to be working with for this summer season. And girl, I think that's true. I believe it. And Easter is Sunday. Easter is Sunday. So on TikTok, I've been watching people talk about like how they plan to make that final push for summer between Easter and Memorial Day. And overwhelmingly, people are like, they're going to walk. Like, I'm walking, I'm hitting these steps every single day until Memorial Day. And I would have to agree with them. If you're going to do one thing to prepare for summer, it should be walking. Like, just start walking. Even if it's 15 minutes, walk, right? If you can do 20 minutes, walk. If you can do whatever you can do, know that it's enough. It is enough. And I think that keeps a lot of people from like starting things or doing things or staying committed and like consistent, because they feel like they're not doing enough. So like, why even bother? But whatever you can do on a regular basis is enough. So no matter what it is, if it's 10 minutes, it's enough, because that's 10 minutes that you weren't doing before, right? Walking every day until Memorial Day. And I think I think we would all see a little bit of change. Now, I have been walking. I have been walking at least 6 days a week, and I've been getting my steps. Right now, it's 10:25 in the morning. When I took my watch off, I already had over 11,000 steps for the day. I charge my phone my watch. I charge my watch when I know I'm going to be sitting down because the battery on that thing sucks. And if I keep wearing it all day, at some point it'll die and I won't truly know what my step count is. But today I wanted to make sure that I wore my watch all day because I would like to see what my final step count is when I decide to do my walk early in the morning. So what I've been doing is if I naturally wake up before my alarm clock, no matter what time that is, my alarm goes off at 5:30. If I wake up at 4, if I wake up at 4:30, if I wake up at 5, I'm probably not gonna do this because that's too close to when I need to start like getting the kids ready for school, unless it's a day where my husband is doing it, and then like I'll get up and walk. But if I wake up before my alarm clock, I told myself, just get up, put on your clothes, go down to the basement and just walk. And just walk. That way your walk is done and you don't have to worry about that for the rest of the day. So I would like to see what my final step count is when I do that, because I do get all those steps first thing in the morning. Most of the days I have been just taking my watch off afterwards, because once I hit 10,000, I'm like, I really don't need to know anything else. But today I'm like, actually, no, I would like to know what my step count is when I walk in the morning and what it looks like before I go to bed at night, just to give myself an idea of what I look like when I'm getting a certain amount of steps, if that was a good way of saying it. I want to make sure that however many steps I'm getting, I'm seeing results from it, is basically what I want to see. So I'm going to put my watch back on when we get off the phone. But yeah, walking. And the only reason I'm even saying this, which I've been saying this for years to walk. I've been saying it for years. But the only reason I think I feel more passionately about it now is because I can see a difference. And I don't know if that's the ladder workouts or if it's the walking consistently, but something that I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I can actually tell this is working. Now, I haven't weighed myself, so I don't know how much I weigh, and I don't know if I've lost any weight or anything like that. But just based on what I look like and how my clothes fit, I'm like, yeah, something that I'm doing, it is working well. The combination of the things are working for me. So I'm going to stick with it. And if you're listening to this, then I would like for you to also consider just walking every day until Memorial Day or until your kids get out of school, whichever one either comes first or is a better fit for your schedule. What do we think about that? Can we walk? And remember, it doesn't have to be a certain amount of time. We just got to go for a walk. Whatever time you can give each day, that's it. What do we think? Just to increase our steps a little bit as we work up to the summer. You know, I watched that Lamar Odom Untold documentary, or I don't think it was Untold. Maybe it was like The Life and Death or something, whatever cryptic name they gave his story on Netflix. And I don't know what I thought he was going to say in this. I think based on the trailer and based on what we already knew like about him, I'm like, okay, he's probably going to talk about his experience going through pretty much just like almost dying and how that has impacted him. And I was expecting him to talk about what his life was like now and how he bounced back from that. And I was wrong. I gave that man too much credit. I gave him too much credit. And I have to say and hold myself accountable, because I think I gave him too much credit because of his association with those sisters, right? I think I felt bad for him because of his association with those sisters. And I have to give credit. Back then, when all of that stuff was happening to him, I really did think that that was a very noble thing that Chloe did, because I knew they were going through a divorce or they had filed for divorce or whatever. And she was like, ooh, let me actually take care of him and make sure he's okay. Even though we're going through this, like, obviously she didn't want the worst for him, right? And so she took care of him and was helping him, doing all the things, doing more than I know some women would have, because some women would have just left him for dead. Baby, you was down to the bunny ranch, snorting and sniffing, and now you've got some really bad problems that you can't dig your way out of alone. And since you're looking to your left and your right and you don't have no family here, you don't have your kids here, no one's here, I'll come help you. Like, I will come help you. I will do the right thing and I will be there for you. And you would think that he would have spoken about her in a better light because of that, because she did something she didn't have to do. And he got up there like a real you-know-what and said some real you-know-what, some real NS. That's what he got up there and said. He did. He got up there and was basically like, first of all, I only married her because I saw what her and her family had going on, and I wanted a piece of that. Like, I wanted that lifestyle. I wanted to be considered an A-list celebrity, and marrying her was one way that I was going to get closer to that. So yeah, once we got married, I was very open to having like the TV shows and being out, because it was helping his star power rise after he got traded from Miami to Los Angeles. Like, he wanted to cement himself in the Hollywood world, and he knew being married to her would help him do that. He said this out of his own mouth. And because he was saying some stuff that I felt like he shouldn't say, I was like, did you get media trained at all? Did like anybody prepare you for this? Either the answer to that is no, or you did receive training and you are just not the brightest. Not the brightest in the box. And it could be a little bit of both. So it follows his whole life, from like him playing basketball in high school, how he met his first wife. Were they married? I know that girl had a baby when she was still a teen. I think she was 19. He was in college, because she talked about how he would go to Rhode Island. He was in school there. He was playing. He would come home to New York to like hang out, see her. And on one of his trips back home, she got pregnant. And so they had 2 kids together, a girl and a boy. They were hanging together real tight. They ended up getting pregnant with a 3rd child, and that child passed away due to sudden infant death syndrome. And when that happened, that's when she said she started noticing a change in him, that he was just different after that. And their relationship got rocky after that. He gets traded to LA. She decides to stay back on the East Coast. Basically, they end up breaking up. He is not the most present father. And if you watch it, like if you end up watching the documentary, you'll see where basically he was the kind of dad that would be like, yeah, I'm gonna come do this, but then not show up. Or he just wasn't present, period. And his kids were older. By the time he got married to Chloe, his kids were like older, and they could see him on TV. They could see him getting his picture taken by paparazzi. They were well aware of the fact that their father was just out on the other side of the country living this other lifestyle. And they said one of the only perks of that whole time in their life was that at the holiday season, they would get really great Christmas gifts from Chloe and her family. So I'm like, okay, well, they are a really family-centered family. Like them or love them, if you are in that family, they love you real bad. So the kids talked about that, how, yeah, they would get great gifts. But of course, nothing replaced them being able to have a relationship with their father, who they come to know has a drug abuse problem. Chloe is in the documentary. She talks about how she discovered he was using drugs and how he would just be gone for days, how he would be with other women, how she would be out like looking for him, how she can vividly remember the smell of crack. And she was like, oh, it smells so bad that if you ever smell it, you never forget what it smells like. And there was a time where he was supposed to be clean again. And I think he had gone through rehab, maybe. And it was after all of the Bunny Ranch stuff. So after she had helped bring that man back to life, he must have been living in her house again. She comes home from work and instantly smells the crack in her house. And she's like, I know, let's hope that she's not using the N-word. But if it was me, I would have been like, I know this nigga ain't in my house smoking crack after all we done been through. She said she goes, finds him, and he is sitting up on the side of the bed with all the little crack tools about to get it in. And she looked at him and said, oh, baby, you got to go. And I don't care where it is, but you got to get up out of here. Like, by Monday, you're out. Bye. And they got divorced, and that was that. But to hear him talk about her, the way he did was just so grimy to me, because I'm like, that lady really did help you save your life. And I'm certain that she probably carried some of the financial part of that whole situation too. I mean, we know Lamar has money because Lamar did have a big contract at one point. So I know he's not broke by any means, but you know, I'm pretty sure she was helping carry the financial load of that whole thing. Because I think she mentioned something about that. Like, I'm not paying for anything else. Like, I'm not doing anything else. Like, you got to go. Very interesting to watch because you get a sense that he is not as empathetic as you would think somebody would be after going through something like that. And you kind of almost get the feeling that, like, bruh, I don't think crack is done with you yet. Like, whatever drug it was that you were doing, I don't think the two of you have completely had a breakup that was permanent in nature. But I don't know. He might be a functioning user now. He's got to be something, because nothing about what I watched was redeeming. None of it. And even at the end, he jokes about going to Vegas. And like, I don't know. It was just a mess. It didn't paint him in a very likable or good light. And that baby mama, I know she probably feels like she dodged a bullet, like a big one. I know she has to feel that way. But I bet she also kind of feels like she, you know, had babies with this guy. She more or less put up with the ups and downs of a lot of the trauma that he endured as a child and as like a teenager. And then he basically leaves her, goes out to California and has this whole other life. Because ain't that what they do? He goes out there, has this whole other life, and doesn't even really like make space for those kids in that. And I know she had to be so mad watching that. And she said that before him and Chloe got together, she was like, and the gag is, I used to watch that show. So to watch him be on it, be married into that family, she was like, it was just all the most bizarre thing. If you decide to watch it for the other side of it, not necessarily to learn about his experience from his perspective, but I felt like the women, as we tend to do, the women really carried that documentary and really gave you a good look at the person he actually is. And I don't think he has changed that much based on how he presented himself on there. So that's something that I have watched lately. I have also been watching Culinary Cup with Padma. You know, Padma used to be on Top Chef. Now she's on CBS, basically doing a show just like Top Chef, but it's with more experienced chefs, and the setup and format of the show is different. It's really good. If you like a cooking competition show, that is the one to tune into right now. I feel as if that show can have some longevity as long as they don't start doing silly, crazy things. Like just keep it in the kitchen, keep the challenges realistic, and I think people will enjoy watching it because Top Chef is a really great show. And I think what Top Chef has done well is they have given you episodes that you can expect every season. Like, they're going to have restaurant wars, they're going to travel. And outside of those two mainstays, the rest of it is just good quality cooking with realistic challenges. I think if this show is able to do that, she'll be back on TV. And I love Padma. I think she's great. And also her outfits are always like really beautiful. So I wanted to mention that show for the people who love a cooking competition. Our little parasocial relationship we have with our internet niece, Jordan Woods, just got that much closer because we went to her bachelorette party all over these past 3 to 4 days in St. Bart's. If you did not go on that trip with Jordan, girl, where were you on the internet? Because let me tell you, I got my whole life from the arrival to the last day. I love the gift bags. I love the outfits. I love all the photos, the social media. I loved it. I lived for it. I am so happy for her, which oddly, this call is feeling a little Kardashian heavy. And thank goodness it is Good Friday. I will be able to wash some of this off afterwards. But yes, I'm so happy for Jordan because if we could all just go back down memory lane for a minute. Oh, this also has to do with Chloe. Oh my goodness. If we could all just go back down memory lane a couple years ago to when that whole thing happened with Tristan Thompson and Jordan kissing, him pushing up on Jordan, him trying to kiss her, or him kissing, or them kissing, or whatever happened, and it being like a huge big to-do. Kylie and Jordan stopped being friends. And to me, that would have been enough. Like, okay, the girls aren't friends anymore. Y'all have ousted her from the family. That's enough. What they didn't need to do is then take it to the internet and be like bullying this girl on the internet. Because back then, Jordan was like, what, in her young 20s? She might have been like, what, 21, 20, 22, maybe something. I don't know. But young, very young. And the way they tried to ruin her, I will never forget it. And I think that was really the straw that broke my Kardashian back. It was when that happened and they tried to dog her out and ruin that girl's life. I was like, oh yeah, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing it because God knows y'all have kissed many a man you probably didn't have no business. Kissed many a man, married many a man. And instead of you guys pointing the finger at Tristan and being like, how could you? Because you have known Jordan. She has grown up with your baby sister. Instead of y'all protecting her and being like, it's you did this. You decided to stand by that man. Oust that girl. And then you went so far as to try to ruin her career, her life, whatever. And then if we all could also remember, then Jada Pinkett Smith had her on Red Table Talk so that she could give her side of what happened. She could kind of air out some things. And we were all there for her. We were like, baby, whether you meant to kiss him or not, we don't care. But we don't want you beating yourself up over this. It's really not that deep. Those people just mentally live in a different place. Try not to worry about them and focus on yourself. You will get over this. And she did. And she did. And she did. And I just have to say, her rise has been a beautiful one to watch. Let me just go through some of the things, and I don't even have this in my notes. It's just from watching her since all of that happened. I can remember Jordan had a line of eyelashes. Jordan has an apparel line, but I think right now she's focusing on handbags with it. But I remember her dresses were going viral. Like everybody was wearing them. Everybody loved them. Like it did really well. Now she's got the purses, and I think those do well too. I mean, I see people online with them, so I know people are buying them. I know she's always promoting that brand. Jordan looks amazing. Her outfits never miss. She's always dressed so well, so cute. And and I would have to say that she always looks fun. Like she always looks like a fun girl that's not trying too hard. And I think that's what I really like about her outfits. It's like she wants to wear her stuff, but she's not really pretentious about the whole fashion thing. And I think that is what is so endearing about her. That's one of her good qualities. So then of course she's been in a relationship with him. And what I love about that is that they've been dating for quite some time. They were dating the whole time he was playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think. He was playing for some team out west for a long time. So they were, home in California. And I know she used to go to his games when he played for that team, right? When he got traded to New York, gotta be honest, when she moved to New York City, I was like, ooh, Jordan, baby, you gonna move without a ring? You gonna move without a ring? Ooh, I hope everything works out. But I guess if it doesn't, you're rich enough to move yourself back to that from which you came. So I guess it's all right. We're gonna let this one slide. But yeah, girl, she moved to New York, was a real cute NBA girlfriend, wearing all the customized outfits to all the games. They get engaged. When they got engaged, I was just like, I know that family is sick. I know they're sick because they tried to really bring this girl down, and look at her thriving. Not only is she engaged to one of the top NBA players in the league, but she's engaged to him and she's still got her own stuff going on. Like, he is not the center of everything she shares. Every time you see her on social media, you do not see that man. And I love that. Jordan also has some brick and mortar business down here in Atlanta. I think it's in Buckhead. I don't know the specifics on it, but I think you can go down there and get some type of detox. You can get some type of detox down in Buckhead, and that business is owned by Jordan Woods. Listen, so now we have reached the weekend of The Bachelorette. And what we do know about that is that must mean a wedding is soon. Like, the wedding date must be soon if she had her bachelorette weekend, which is exciting. But she just looks so happy. Like, she looks calm. She looks relaxed. She looks settled. She looks like she is exactly where she's meant to be. And she had her mom there, her sister. I think she had some cousins there. You could tell the group of friends was probably like a mix of some people. But to be honest with you, because I saw just about all of it, I don't remember seeing anybody that I flat out recognized. Like, I don't remember seeing any other, I don't know, like, of the famous girls. Like, there was, because I don't even know if she's friends with any. Who is she friends with outside of her sister? That is a good question. I would have to go see. I'm pretty sure all of those girls know each other. But who is she actually friends with? Because of course her friends were there, but I mean, like, public figure friends. She didn't have anybody that I think we would know if I said their name there, which makes me like her that much more. Yeah, because I just Googled Jordan Woods friends, and of course, Kylie comes up, but like, I don't see anybody else being mentioned. Yeah. So I think it was a mix of like her actual real life, not on the internet friends. So you didn't see Lori Harvey, you didn't see Chloe and Halle. And these are girls that I know she knows based on pictures that I've seen. But like, that was not her bachelorette vibe. So that made me happy for her, because I'm like, oh yeah, so you are actually rooted and grounded in real relationships that aren't just for the Instagram of it all. But since everybody is so freaking cute, your pictures still look good, girl. Oh my gosh. She had everybody wearing this beautiful, like deep dark red, and then she wore white. Each look was like better than the last one. She had all of her cute little bridal accessories. She had a waist necklace. What do people call those? Like a chain that said bride. It was cute. She looked like she was having so much fun. If you haven't seen any of that, go, because now I'm excited for the wedding. I'm excited for the wedding, and what I think I'm most excited to see, which I think most people are excited to see, her dress, which I know is going to be gorgeous based on the fact that we've seen these bachelorette looks and they were all really beautiful. But I think I'm excited to see like the community around her more than I'm excited to see the dress, like just the love and the support. Because I would imagine that back when everything happened, she probably didn't feel that. And because when you're young, you don't really pay attention to much of anything else other than your own feelings. But I would like to think that back then she could feel the love and support from people. And so now I'm like, yeah, girl, when you get married, we're really going to go up for you. Like, yes, we're really going to be so happy for you because things worked out the way they were supposed to, despite the fact that people really tried to do you dirty. So I'm excited for her. Go watch some of her bachelorette stuff if you haven't already. I shared on Instagram the other day that I'm about to start taking Mary Ruth's vitamins. I know by now people have seen those. Like, you've had to see the ads. You've had to see people advertising for them. And let me just tell you, I have been so skeptical. As I have seen ads, I'm like, ooh, do those things really work? And then a part of me is like, well, they have to be doing something because they're not cheap. They're not cheap. So you would like to believe if people are spending $50 on some vitamins that they must be doing something. And the reviews had been overwhelmingly good. Every time that I would go look at reviews would be great. Now, you guys know my hair is getting thinner and thinner by the minute. It's thinned all. There's nowhere else for it to go. So in a minute here, I'm going to have to buy some hair because I can't keep pulling it back into this ponytail. And I really don't want to keep like bothering it. Like, I want it to grow. So it needs to be like braided down. Right. We're all on the same page with that. Now, I do love a good wash and go. Like, I like my curly hair. And when it gets hot, I will be wearing my curly hair. So there's that. I just don't want to mess with it too much because I do want to leave it alone so that it can grow. So I'm a little torn, but I'm going to have to buy some hair because that's just where we're at. So in the meantime, I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should try Mary Ruth's. So do you know, I got online and I was like looking for prices. Who has the best price? Where can I go? Because I know they sell it in stores. Which vitamin would be the one that is best for me? I ultimately decided, again, let me just start with the basic one. This basic one that claims that it grows hair. Let me start there before I try any of the more advanced or like vitamins that say that they specialize in any one type of hair issue, right? Then I remembered, oh, Tia, I think like literally a year ago, if not longer than that, you got sent a package from Mary Ruth's and you never opened it. Like you never did anything with it because you were skeptical about what was it, what is it going to do? And to be honest with you, back then I was also just skeptical about taking supplements in general, like just taking things when I felt like I really didn't need them. Okay. So I remembered that and I was like, oh, well, I hope I didn't throw it away because that's something you also would do, Tia. You get tired of looking at something or you feel like something doesn't serve a purpose and you get rid of it. So I went to my bathroom, opened up my little closet, and there it was, still sitting on the shelf. I wiped that bottle off and I said, oh, baby, I know they must have wanted me to try this a long time ago and the timing must not have been right for me then. Oh, but honey, it's right for me now. So we're about to go on a little bit of a hair growth journey and see if this stuff really works. I am on day 3. I started on April 1st. I'm on day 3 of taking my hair vitamins, and so far I do not have a 30-inch natural bust down. I don't. My afro is not bumping into people. You don't see that afro before you see me. Not yet. But we're going to keep taking it and see what happens, see what kind of growth we can get. And if I feel like the vitamins actually work and that they do something, then I'll bump up and try one of the other ones that specialize in like hair density. But I'm also going to take an iron supplement because y'all know I put myself through cosmetology school when I got that book from the library and I was reading. I also think having, which my blood work does not say that I'm iron deficient, but my food app that I log my food into all the time, it says that I don't eat enough iron. And I believe it because I know the things that I eat. So I'm like, oh, I will take an iron supplement and see if that too doesn't help, because based on my personal research, if you do have some type of iron deficiency, your hair will thin out and it will not grow. Like that is a clear sign of not getting enough iron. So I'm going to try that too. And we're going to reconvene here in about 30 days and see what's what with the hair growth. I just wanted to mention that here because I know I shared it on Instagram, and on Instagram is where I'll be sharing that. Lastly, before we go, this month for book club, we are reading Toni Morrison's Tar Baby. I'm excited to read this book. Now, last month for book club, we did Song of Solomon, and I made the mistake of doing that book through the audio book version. I did not mind Toni Morrison's reading because I put her on 1.5 speed, and when I sped her up, I was fine. I was quite actually entertained by the book once I sped her up a little bit. But I think I have figured out what my issue with these books are. My issue with these books is that they are so trauma-filled, one after the other. Things just happen. Some of the things are bad things. Some of the things are questionable things. Some of the things are just flat out. Now, Toni, why is this woman in her 50s still producing breast milk and she ain't got no kid? Like no. Why? So little things like that. And I don't want to use the word disturbing, because I feel bad using that word, because I know she is a critically acclaimed, celebrated, and awarded author. But sometimes I'm reading these books and I'm like, was that necessary? Is there no love story? Is there never a good day? Does anyone ever have anything positive happen to them? And so far, I'm going to say that the answer to that must be no. Must be no. So last month when I did the audiobook, I was so shocked every time I heard her say something that it was truly hard for me to even like take in what was happening in the book, because I was just shocked from one thing to the next. So I said, okay, next month we're going to go back to the physical hard copies. Number one, so you can actually remember what's happening in these books. And number two, I feel like when you read them yourself, the element of shock is taken from you. Because when she reads it with inflection. Like she reads it the way she's hoping that you're reading it. So the entertainment is there, right? When you read it yourself, you kind of read it like, dang, homie, like, man, it's not the way I think she wants us to read it. But I'm excited to read Tar Baby. It's a book set in the Caribbean, which I ain't never met a Caribbean island I didn't like. So I'm excited for that. So far, the characters are being set up. So far from what I've read, they're kind of just setting the tone, introducing the characters to us. And I can already tell it's going to be messy. I just don't know which direction the mess is going to fall and who the mess is going to be with. My guess, if I had to guess, the mess is going to be with the son, whose name is Son in the book, by the way. And so, see, that's what I mean. It's like he is a son, and I'm sure there's a deeper meaning as to why they named the son, I'm sure. And so, see, and that's the other thing. When we meet for book club at the end of the month, people who have read her books before, and they might be reading through these for like the second time or maybe even the third time, they're picking up on things that they didn't pick up on the last time they read them. So they're getting the deeper meanings to all of these things. This is my first time reading through her books, so I read through them like WTF, and the deeper meanings don't always catch me at first. But then in some of the books, like specifically, was it Sula or The Bluest Eye? I can't remember. But in one of those books, I felt not that I could relate to the characters, but I could relate to the story enough that I felt like I did get a lot of the deeper meanings. I think, though, because I'm from the South, some of it just seems not normal to me because it's not necessarily my lived experience, but yeah, it's like it doesn't shock me as much, some of the stuff that she writes, because I'm like, well, yeah, that's a real thing. But then some of the stuff that does shock me, yeah, it's kind of like, and she gives everybody breast milk. And I don't know what that's about. And everybody has mommy issues, or they have a bad mommy. And I don't know what that's about either. Again, that's why I'm like reading through these books for the first time. I do have so many questions. Mainly it makes me want to learn more about her so that I can see where these characters and these stories come from. And I am crossing my fingers that as we move through book club this year, that eventually we get to a book that is kind of like not so much, like not too much. These people are they're in a safe space. My guess is that it probably won't happen, but I would like for it to. And now that I'm saying this out loud to you, I'm like, maybe I feel that way because I do read a lot of the safe girls, like the Kennedy Ryans, the Tia Williams, who has a new book coming out, because I saw, if you are not in book club, the name of my book club is Pouring Over Books Book Club, and it's led by LaShawn Wiltz. LaShawn shares books, even the ones that we're not reading for book club. She just shares books all the time. And she has a podcast called Pouring Over Books, right? If you go to her podcast or her page, she talks about Tia Williams' new book. I think it was on the most recent podcast episode. And I want to read it. I can't remember when she said it comes out. Maybe it was July or June. It's later in the summer, girl. But it made me want to read it. And I'm like, okay, so maybe I'm just used to reading so many of those kinds of books that I have kind of like made myself not be able to really sit with books that aren't fluffy. Is that okay for me to say? Not that the other girls only write fluff. I don't want anybody to get mad at me when I say that, because I enjoy their books, but their books are easy reads. Like they're easy reads. You can take them on vacation. Your blood pressure is not going to go up. You're not going to read anything in their books that make you immediately close it and say, I need to give myself a day or so, and then I can come back. That's not going to happen to you in those other books. Those other books are page turners. They really don't stir your spirit. You feel like you are reading a soap opera or like a movie when you read those other books. Toni Morrison is going to make you look inside your soul and see if anything evil is in there. And I don't mean evil like evil. I mean, ooh, do I resonate with any of this? And if I do, why is that? And if you do, it's probably because there's a little bit of evil down in there. I don't know. Or maybe you have experienced some of the things that she writes about, and so you can relate to it that way. I don't know, girl, but that's what we're reading in book club. So this month I'm reading Tar Baby by Toni Morrison. I am also going to start listening to Brandy's memoir on Audible. Brandy Norwood, the singer, her memoir just came out. I loved Moesha. I remember when Brandy was on Thea. Y'all remember that when she was on Thea? Wait, was the name of that show Thea, or did that show have a different name? I don't know. I can't remember. But loved her real bad in Moesha. Loved her when she was Cinderella alongside Whitney Houston. Loved her debut album, Brandy. Never Say Never was a knockout sophomore performance. Okay. Now, I got to admit, after that, I kind of only know Brandy's singles. She did not pull me in. And I think the next album after that, was that Full Moon or Aphrodisiac? What was her album after Never Say Never? And what's the name of that album called? Aphrodisiac? I bet you it wasn't. I bet you it wasn't. Oh no, she did have an album called Aphrodisiac. It just wasn't when I said. Okay, so yeah, she had Brandy, then she had Never Say Never, then she had Full Moon, then she had Aphrodisiac, and then the albums just kind of go from there. Now, you know what else was good? Her Christmas album that she put out like a couple years ago. That Christmas album was good. So yeah, I love Brandy for her musical contribution to our culture. I will always hold her in high esteem for all of the hits because God knows she's got plenty of them, right? Talented doesn't even begin to cover it. Talented doesn't even begin to cover it. But I gotta say, as someone who has just only watched these people like on TV and seen them in magazines and all of that kind of stuff, I never felt like we got a good idea of like who she is. So if it wasn't for the fact that I just love listening to a memoir, especially when it's read by the author, I probably wouldn't be reading her memoir. Like if audiobooks didn't exist, I can't say that I would walk into Barnes and Noble and actually buy her book and read it because I'm not a fan at that level. Fan of the music, not so crazed that I would be like, oh yeah, I've got to listen to, or I've got to go get her memoir. But because I can listen to it on Audible, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll listen to that and see what you are going to share. Because we know, just based on what we know about her, we know she's not going to tell it all. And whatever she does tell, it will be presented to us in the light in which she wants us to see her in, which is okay. It's fine. It's her book. She can write what she wants to. But I feel like the whole point of doing a memoir is to just kind of tell it all. Like Deborah Johnson, the one that was married to Bob over at BET, that was a good memoir. That lady told it all, and she didn't care if some of it made her look bad. She was going to tell it, and she told it all. Mariah Carey's memoir, outstanding. Great. She told her whole story, even though some of it maybe didn't make her look that good. But in Mariah's case, I would have to say she was a victim in a lot of it. She was. But even the parts that, she holds herself accountable and she says, I probably could have gotten out of this situation, but for this reason and that reason, I stayed, blah, 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 blah. Boom, she tells it all. She tells it all. I'm going to start Brandy's book. I'm going to start it. And then we can reconvene next week and see what our thoughts were. What are the standout topics to me? I know it's already trending online, some of the things that she says, but we'll meet back here next week, girl, and talk about what we have listened to so far. So if you have a way of listening to her audiobook, girl, go ahead and press play so we can listen together and we can have something to chat about. And please don't come for me because I said I didn't think she was interesting enough for me to read her book. But y'all know what I mean by that. It's not a mean thing to say. I'm just stating the obvious. And I think that was it for today, girl. My kids go on spring break this upcoming week, so I'm real excited about that. Spring basketball also starts back up this weekend. I cannot say I'm as excited about that as I am about spring break. But girl, you know what we do. We push through for the kids, for the babies, so that they can create their memories and see where their interests lie.
So I'll be out there in my team gear, supporting my child with all of the snacks and Gatorade until the season ends later on in May. I hope you guys have a great Easter weekend. Relax, have fun, eat something delicious, get out in the sun if the weather is nice where you are. While you're out, compliment a woman, say something nice to her. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you, and never knock another woman's hustle, even if it's a memoir that you're questioning in your mind. Don't do it. Don't be like me. Be better than me. I'll talk to you again next week, girl. Love you. Bye.